So what's up, BK Trading Academy? We're going to look at Bitcoin. I'm going to make this video really quick, probably 5 minutes or less. We're going to analyze this, and I'm going to show you a level that I'm interested in, and I'm going to tell you why, because of some things that are taking place this week and in the near future. We haven't did Bitcoin in a while, so let's go ahead and deep dive into it.
Yeah, I know I got problems, and I don't know where to go.
All right, guys, so we're starting off on the daily time frame. Now, a lot of you guys probably already know that Bitcoin has been rising and has been continuing to rise and rise and rise. I'm on the weekly time frame now, and we can see this steep rise here from, let's say, starting from Monday, January 2024 on the 22nd, all the way to now. That is about a 72% increase, which is ridiculous, right? So if I go ahead and scroll out, I'm looking now for price action, and price action is very significant. Regardless of what news says or high impact things, we're looking at support, resistance, supply and demand, and price action. And if I go ahead and draw a rectangle all the way across from this highest peak here to where price is currently at now, this was back in November 2021, where it peaked at around 69,000, give or take. And then we can see that price is currently at 66,000. Now, do you think it's going to continue to rise? What I like to do, like I said, is look left for clues, but I also like to look at a few things here. So I recognize this peak here. I also see a few of them here, a few wick actions here. So around this zone here, even here in the past, where we can see it broke past this peak here, and now it is continuing to rise to this last peak in November 2021. So what I like to do is draw my rectangle and meet it around here where price action was very heavy, because I know that if something happens, it's going to happen around this peak here. Now, one or two things are going to happen. Price is either going to shoot past resistance or it's going to resist off of resistance and head to the downside, just like it did here in the past. Now, what make me feel like there's definitely something that's going to happen is because we have high impact news coming up. We have Fed Jerome Powell testifying this Wednesday on the 6th of March. And there's two parts. There's one part where he's reading a scripted note here that he provides, and you can read that on the Fed website with him. And then the second part is that there are questions and answers. Now, the questions and answers are a bit unpredictable. And usually when he speaks, the market can become a bit volatile. He's the most influential individual when it comes to currency and stock movement and interest rates. So we can see a little bit of instability with the market around this time. But one or two things I think is going to happen is going to go up or down. But before then, there's definitely going to be some sort of reaction around this area here. So for those who are possibly looking to buy at this particular time, I would say, wait. Now, price can go higher, but it just makes sense. Whenever you're in a trend, you're going to have higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend, right? We have our impulse move. We have our rejection here, pullback, impulse move, pullback. Now we have our impulse move. And I think it's about time for a pullback. Now, that's how I trade. And this is what Kenya and I typically do. We like to wait for when price is at a discount. Now, you can possibly sell if you see some consolidation, you see sellers starting to pick up and you can sell. But if you're only looking to buy, I would wait for price to possibly come back to a previous resistance zone, which I'm looking at this zone right in here. So anywhere between here. Now, if price happens to pull back at this zone, then I may be interested in buying here. So this is the zone I'm looking at here. That can be anywhere around, let's say, 60,000 to 61,000, anywhere within that zone. And I want to see some consolidation and maybe some buyers stepping in before I go ahead and buy. Oftentimes I see traders wanting to buy in a bullish market, and that's not completely wrong, but you know that you're kind of playing with the dice there, right? You're kind of playing with dice. You're in a casino. So you typically don't want to buy in a bullish market until the market brings more buyers, which we're looking for that pullback, just like we see in any structural uptrend, right? We want to wait for a pullback to entice more buyers before price goes higher. Now, depending on what happens here, we see that Fed Jerome Powell is going to be speaking at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, March 6th. Now, that can bring some volatility and a little bit of instability. And oftentimes that means that there are some clues that he may be presenting, whether the interest rates are going to climb or stay still or drop. And that will let you know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, USD, even the other markets. If you're trading stocks, ETFs like the Dow, the Nas 100, or if you're trading the NASDAQ, so many things like that. So you want to be careful with that. So these are the zones that I'm interested in here. So around this price, all the way up to around 69,000 is where I'm interested in possibly selling if I see some consolidation and weakness, or if price comes down to around the 61,000 mark to around 60,000 mark. I'm looking left for clues. I want to see a little bit of consolidation before I go ahead and buy. Really quick analysis with Bitcoin, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just analyzing the market, looking at fundamentals to try to figure out what could possibly happen. And that's all pretty much what we can do is analyze. And I think that if we use logic, looking at news, looking at price action, and combining that together, that will actually help us to determine what is next. And one more thing really quickly here, I think it's appropriate to really throw on some indicators. So even if I threw on an RSI, we can see that it is really overbought here at this particular price here. Now it can continue to go higher, just like we see here in the past. This was our peak, same thing reflecting here. It can definitely go higher, but there is a time where you have to bring in sellers in order to attract more buyers. And that's when you would typically buy, is when price is at a discount. Just logic, just like any other market, the grocery market, the real estate market, you have to attract buyers, so you have to bring the price down. And I think that's what's going on here. And oftentimes, I like to call this the setup. Oftentimes, the market makers will have major news happening right when price is at a major level like this here. And coincidentally, Fed Jerome Powell is going to be speaking. So we'll see what happens. So guys, that's all I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments what do you think, and I will see you in the next video.